Today, watch me kick off the new year with Zenithal highlighting my way through my first Warhammer Fantasy kit, from start to finish. What do you guys think of my sweater here? My mom got this for me. Sir, it's like Sisters of Battle, but like it's pretty cool. You got the skulls and everything on it. Look great at family Christmas, I'll tell you that much. Oh, hi guys. Happy New Year. And you know what New Year means? New me. Mobhammer 40K today is Mobhammer. For me, it's always been a little bit more intimidating jumping into fantasy because I've always done Tau and Imperial Knights. There's really no skin tones, or if there is, it's very minimal, and it's a lot more metallic shading and like big giant stompy robots. For Christmas this year, I had a little Santa gift me a Warhammer Fantasy model kit, Hexbane's Hunters, which is basically a small box of 5 miniatures. Well, did I get my math wrong? It's 4 people and 2 dogs. This video is trying to get me out of my comfort zone and trying some new things. This is by no means going to be at all perfect, but I really hope you follow me along with the journey.
Let's dive in.
So I was pretty excited to work on building a single small kit of miniatures that I didn't have any prior attachment to. The idea of push-fit models did sound fun, but as soon as I tried putting them together, I realized they were far from simple. Inevitably, I had to add plastic glue in order to clean up some seams, but once I had them built, I thought they looked really cool. As always, I start with priming them using Vallejo Black Primer with my airbrush. In the past, I haven't really embraced Zenithal highlighting, so I thought this was a good time to give it an honest try. Using Golden Titanium White, I spray the miniatures from above, mimicking a light source. For Hexbane himself, he is holding a torch, so I wanted to make sure to spray him in such a way to make it look like the flames were illuminating him. There was something regal about the miniatures, being demon hunters, so I chose Vallejo Express Color Cardinal Purple. Previously, I've painted flat panels with 1-coat paints, and from a regular brush, it would just not look so good. Really, panels are best with an airbrush, and I've gotten so much flack with it in the comments. But with so many folds and crevices for hex painting these hunters, 1-coat paints were an excellent way to go. Next, I add Gore Grunta Fur contrast paint to give a leathery, detailed look to Hexbane's hat, everyone's glove, and just various accessories like bags and whatever this chest piece is on this miniature. Now, if you watch my videos, you know I struggle with faces, so I try to keep it very simple. Grabbing Gilliman Flesh, I use this for Hexbane's skin tone, which I think really works well given the lighting effect from the flame. I really wanted to make the torch's flame vibrant, so I used Vallejo Game Ink Red as a base coat. As a final touch for the flames, I use Sun Yellow to edge highlight. Wanting to give a good complementary color, I used Express Space Gray for some of the minis' pants. Now, if you have a keen eye, I'm sure you've noticed some things seemingly jumping around, whether it's the lighting, the order of which I applied these colors. The truth is, I started painting not quite sure what my full palette was going to be. So I took the time to experiment and see how things looked on one model before I moved on to the next. I also started painting in my apartment and then finished at my family's during the holidays. I try to take my time, and it really made for a relaxing and also exciting painting experience. You just saw me use silver on everyone's armor and some of their weapons, but I want to add variety, so I also used Iron Warrior on some other weapons. Next, I used Rattling Grime for some of the melee weapons, as well as some of the miniature shoes. At this point, I got a lot of fun details, but I want to get a better feel of the definition of the metallics. I apply my Nuln Oil shade. Maybe you want to wait a little bit later in the process to do this, but the more exciting the mini looks to me, the more motivated I am to keep going. I also use my wash to create more shadowing in the clothes. This will be helpful reference when we start layering. I think Hexbane looks good, but I still have to paint the rest of the faces for his remaining hunters. Starting with thin down dark flesh, I lay down a base coat. Then light flesh to pick out the raised details of the face and heads. For this miniature, I really like being able to paint this big bald head. It just made it a little bit easier, not having to worry about hair. With a wash of Reichland Flesh Shade, it's all tied together. Well, at least for a newbie like me. Still got a ways to go. For this guy's hair, I painted it black and dry brushed Vallejo Stonewall Gray. I decided to keep the bases fairly simple, and after painting them black, I dry brushed Stonewall Gray to add a little depth. Adding a little more of a horror component, I used Vallejo's Fresh Blood special effects. I didn't think it was red as I would like it to be, so I mixed in a little Game Ink Red. I applied to Hexbane's base as well as the Axemen's axe. Moving on to layering, I used Vallejo Tan to add a little more brightness and vibrancy to the leathery pieces of the miniatures. Because of our Zenithal highlight, we already have a pretty good guide of where I should paint. I use Vallejo Electric Blue as a way to complement and add on to the Space Gray that we applied earlier. And now the good stuff. Bloody red with a little bit of white mixed in is a great highlight for the Cardinal Purple. As I've said previously, I'm still fairly new to layering, so as I cautiously kept my brush much more lighter with less paint, it ended up giving me a much more of the subtlety I was looking for. Now it was time for another first of mine, painting dogs, specifically fur. After painting their collars with Cardinal Purple, I used Wasteland Brown for the base coat. I then got a little creative. I made a blend of Wasteland Brown, Vallejo Tan, and a little white to make a lighter but similar color. I then used a very lightly loaded brush to paint little lines simulating fur on the doggos, and it actually looked pretty good. Before adding the next layer, I used silver to pick out some of the metallic pieces of the collars. Now, don't ask how I came up with this, but I used bone white mixed with Wasteland Brown to add another layer of brighter fur to the dogs, which added a lot of great texture, it turned out. It never occurred to me what kind of results I could get mixing one coat paints with opaque base colors, and I'm really excited to try it again in the future. Hey guys, just a reminder, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We're a small channel, so any little bit helps. Also, please leave a comments down below and let me know what you like or don't like. It helps drive what kind of content I'm going to be making in the future to see what you're interested in watching. The main purpose of this channel is documenting my journey as a painter and the things I try, both succeeding and failing. So I can't always guarantee that everything's going to look perfect, but I can guarantee that it's going to look better than the last one. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Guys, I absolutely love painting these miniatures. It was my first time painting fantasy, and it was really rewarding to try new things, color blending, layering, and I'm super excited to paint more of these. I think this is a good example of just getting out of your comfort zone and realizing that just because you're not good at something doesn't mean you can't try things, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. And I think I've got some more Age of Sigmar minis in my future. Anyways, have a great day, have a great start to New Year, and I'll see you guys soon.